Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all, and happy Sunday to you. A beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Greg Angello here on Planet One Radio here on YouTube. Appreciate you all for coming in, for checking us out, and for those of you who have been coming back, we appreciate you. Today is the 29th of June, which means what? Tomorrow. That's it. You got one more day left. We have one more day left of the month of June, and then we're moving into July. So a lot of things happen, obviously, in the summertime. Kids are out of school. Many of you are taking vacations, taking trips, planning to go places, or some of you are actually trying to plan your fall, right? Trying to figure out, what school do I go to? Where do I apply? College kids, high school kids that are out there trying to apply and all of that. So a lot of things that are going on with families, individuals. Are they going to stay where they're going to stay? Are they going to move out of state? A lot of questions to be answered, a lot of prayers that people are putting forth to make the right decision, right? So we know how difficult that could be when you're making a transition. And I've said before, transitions could be for anything. It could be leaving your school and moving on to another one. It could be leaving your job, going on to another one. It could be leaving the area that you live. It could be moving to a new state. It could be a lot of people from up north moving down to the south, and those are all transitions. All right. And you're like, yeah, Greg, they are. What's your point? So, well, they're basically kind of like roadmaps of where we're going, right? They're the GPS of what's going on. It's how we embrace these transitions, and what our frame of mind is to see how they all go, right? So some of the things I talked about yesterday dealt with dealing with pain, making decisions, all of that, and like what are some of the steps, right? What are some of the steps to take to get into all of that? And so this is not going to be a course for you to join and how to get on the platform and all of that. I'm just going to basically lay some things out to you that I have learned from my own experience and from other people that I know that have gone through different scenarios, different life changes, things like that. The one thing that it's like the triangle building block, if you will. One is about acknowledgement. Whatever it is, you have to acknowledge that something has to change. You have to acknowledge that there is a transition that needs to take place. You have to acknowledge that something isn't working and that something else has to happen. Acknowledgement is number one. So if you're taking notes, acknowledgement, whatever it is, I acknowledge the fact that this has happened. I acknowledge that this didn't happen the way that I thought. I acknowledge this is the type of money that I thought I was going to make. I acknowledge that this isn't the job that I put myself into or my family into. It's just a point of recognizing that it's a starting point. Opening up the door is a form of coming to terms of acknowledgement. With that comes a whole host of other issues that we deal personally about decisions that we make or the decisions that we had made. And I would say that the next step, first is acknowledgement. The second step is going to be, that I would say, is forgiveness. Forgiveness. That has to be crucial. I don't know if you can move forward into another transition unless there is some form of forgiveness. I'd say, well, what are we forgiving ourselves for? It could be anything. It could be forgiving yourself for things that you've said in the past. It could be for decisions that you made that you haven't told anybody about. It's just a part of coming clean in moving forward is a form of forgiveness, right? You got to forgive yourself and you have to forgive others. And it's sort of like this, it opens up the soil, the hardened soil, so that you can plant more seeds and you can grow and have something new that's going to sprout. That's really what it is. To me, it's a huge building block in a transition process. Acknowledging that you are in a transition or acknowledging that you must make a change, and then the fact of forgiving, the forgiveness, so that you can basically clear the slate. I mean, if you need to call someone and tell them that you forgive them for something or that you need to be forgiven about something, just go ahead and do it. It opens up a door so big that you have no idea. Because unfortunately, many of us, we just hold in our feelings, we harbor resentment, we harbor our pain, we harbor bitterness, we harbor our victimhood, right? That we become a victim. And without that form of forgiveness, you can just, whether or not it's just looking at yourself directly and say, I forgive you. It's time to move on. You cannot put new oil unless you change the oil that's in your car, right? You can't put new oil into your engine unless you get rid of the old oil. Just like in scripture, right? The very first miracles was at the wedding feast of Canaan, and Jesus talked about putting new wine into an old wine press. Now I've heard people say, "Oh, Jesus turned water into wine." No. It's about, you cannot take something new and put it into something that is old or needs to change, because it's not going to hold it and it's going to burst, right? If you go to a place to get your oil changed and they just put new oil in there, it's going to be a problem for your engine. So you got to come clean on it. All right. So acknowledgement and forgiveness are the two things to start moving forward in a transition into your next phase, whatever that is going to be. Maybe you have to write it down. And I really do encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to write those things down. Come up with a list of things that you feel that you should acknowledge. Second, for forgiveness, whatever it is, bitterness, things that you've just decided not to acknowledge at all, other people's in your family, friends, people that you have decided that cause you negativity, things like that. Even if they're not around you, and you decided to let go of certain either people that are causing you harm or causing you negativity, people that you've gotten rid of even off of social media, there still has to be a form of forgiveness. And why is that? Because it opens up a brand new opportunity to clear out everything else so that you can move forward. All right. So I'm not going to lay too much heavy stuff down here this morning on this Sunday, but I thought it's a good start. Sunday is the first day of the week. Monday is not. Sunday is the first start of the week, even though that Sunday that we call this, some call it the new Sabbath. It's the day of rest, the new day of rest. But it is the first day of the week. And so why not start fresh with those two principles in moving forward? All right. Planet One Radio, Greg Angello here. We're going to be taking off tomorrow. We'll be coming to you from Myrtle Beach. It will be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see a different background. This is kind of cool back here. I like the wood style, the outdoors, the picturesque view and all that, but it's going to be nice to see the ocean breeze and the sound of all of that. Of course, I'm listening to bugs and crickets or whatever these crazy things in the trees are, cicadas. We'll have to take some pictures of these things, these little creatures that look like they're from outer space. It's crazy what they look like after they've been stuck to a piece of wood overnight and have left their shell or whatever. It's quite unique. All right, well, enough of that gory stuff. We appreciate you all. Thanks for coming in. We do appreciate your comments, by the way. Go ahead and leave your comments. Let me know what you think. If you think that what I just said is right. If not, tell me what you think. If you got some other ideas of moving forward, acknowledgement, forgiveness, and all of that, we appreciate you. All right, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.